What up, everybody? I'm Jack Slater, aka the Comic Outlaw. Yeah! What's going on, man? You know what time it is right now? It is time for mixtape madness. Yes. And this is where I take 13 tracks from a band that I like in no particular order. Just the order that I like to listen to, the flow of it. It's more about the flow than it is more of a top 10, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, without further delay, I like to talk about the band that we're talking about in this show. It's called Pink Floyd. And for you guys that don't know who Pink Floyd is, wow. You don't know who Pink Floyd is. That's like listening to hip hop and not knowing who Tupac is. Oh my God. Pink Floyd back in the day. They started out like in the late 60s, got big in the 70s, 80s, and they just blew up with albums like, of course, Dark Side of the Moon, I Wish You Were Here. Those are the big ones. And, of course, The Wall, which was their biggest outstanding hit that they had. The Wall was kind of like about a guy that was a rock star that kind of has a slow descent into madness as his wife left him and he was doing all kinds of drugs. And it's actually, they made it into a movie. Very good. With the exception of, there was a song, The Tigers Broke Free, that was actually in the movie, but wasn't in the album until many, many years later on the greatest hits. Floyd has made a lot of different albums. They've went through several iterations. The first one was in the 60s with Sid Barrett. Sid Barrett ended up going a little crazy, and he was replaced, well, by David Gilmour and Roger Waters. They both kind of took turns singing. There were tensions in the band. After The Wall, they ended up kind of going on for a little while longer until they made their final album, Final Cut, in the 80s. And then Pink Floyd came back without Waters. Waters sued, and it became a whole legal thing. Waters, feeling that he wrote The Wall, he did most of the work on a lot of the bigger Pink Floyd albums, that they shouldn't have bring the band back without him. It turned into this big old lawsuit. Waters and Gilmour have played a handful of times after that, but not really got back together for a tour. I think there's just too much static between the two. Personally, I understand what Roger Waters meant and said. Gilmour kind of jumped on the team. Granted, he has a wonderful guitar. He does wonderful work when he plays, but he's not the writer that Waters was. Waters gave Pink Floyd the image that it currently has. Back then with Sid, it was a lot different. You can actually compare See Emily Play to later Pink Floyd stuff. Fascinatingly enough, Pink Floyd had a lot of albums. Saucer Full of Secrets, Pipers at the Gates of Dawn, that was their first album. Metal, Omagoma. I could just sit here live at Pompeii before they got real famous. They had hits here and there, but it was that time frame where it was Dark Side, The Wall, I Wish You Were Here. That was their big money maker. Pink Floyd has had, their live albums are actually pretty good. I recommend Pink Floyd 81 with The Wall, and a fantastic album. The members of Pink Floyd without Roger Waters came back to do Pulse. Roger Waters has an album called Goodbye Mr. Pink Floyd, which is very interesting. A remix of a lot of the old Pink Floyd songs. Fascinating. Now, enough with the hoopla. Let's get to the list. Alright, the first one that I threw up here is Young Lust. Young Lust is from The Wall. It has a great way to start a great way to start a CD or a MP or whatever the hell you want to call it. Second one is Not Now John. Not Now John is from Final Cut. Final Cut was their last album. It's a little darker, but Pink Floyd's always kind of had a dark edge to him. It's just Not Now John was Not Now John, but the album that Not Now John from Final Cut is extremely dark. Two Sunsets in the Sun is about a man watching a nuclear bomb go off, for example. Alright, let's see. I Wish You Were Here would be the next one. A wonderful song. Waters actually wrote it about Syd Barrett. You just gotta listen to it to feel the magic, man. It's hard to describe. All right, let's see. After that, See Emily Play. See Emily Play was the first big hit with Syd Barrett. Interesting. It's about a chick that takes LSD for the first time. Fascinating. All right, let's see. Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun. And I put the live version here. Yes, there was a live version. It's from Amagama. And it is awesome and wonderful. It's a long song. But it after Syd left, you kind of... That's what I was saying. There was two singers. This is a Roger Waters song. Very cool. All right. Now, this one should come as no surprise, but Money, Get Back. It's from Dark Side of the Moon. It's probably one of their more famous songs. Love it, love it, love it. And let's see, the next one would be One of These Days. One of These Days is from an album called Metal. And if you listen to Metal, it's kind of like the prequel to Dark Side, Wall, and Wish You Were Here. That's when the band started to really come together. And the song that I picked from that is One of These Days. Awesome song. It starts off real low and then just picks up. Very interesting. All right. And then the next one is Breathe. Breathe is from Dark Side. Breathe, breathe in the air. Don't be afraid to care. It has a very ethereal sound to it. Like you're floating in a psychedelic dream, man. Going from one place to the other. Alright. And then after Breathe, I got Run Like Hell. Alright. And now I went for the live version, 1981, for this one. It just has more energy. And if you haven't seen this, Run Like Hell, it's just one of those songs that gives you that feeling of dread, you know, that you're being hunted. A fascinating song. From the Wall, of course. 81, like I said. Alright, let's see. Now, the next one I picked was Have a Cigar. Have a Cigar is from I Wish You Were Here, which is my favorite album out of the three set. Usually people pick The Wall or Dark Side. I love I Wish You Were Here. Have a Cigar was kind of like them talking about the music business at this point and how twisted it is in a lot of ways. It's more about money than it is about anything else. Not about art. Alright. Now this one I picked from Pulse. Pulse was when they got back together. See, I'm trying to include all of Pink Floyd, so I had to throw something from the new stuff in. So I picked What Do You Want From Me? This is one of Gilmour's better songs that he wrote without Waters. Very hard love song. You know, where he's frustrated. And you could feel that frustration. He's singing there, what do you want from me? What do you need? What can I tell you I can convince you that I love you? It's a fantastic song. It has a lot of grit in it. All right. My next one that I picked is Welcome to the Machine. Welcome to the Machine is a chorus from I Wish You Were Here. It's another song, you know, saying that, you know, the machine of life. It's a fascinating song. Like I said, all these songs you have to listen to kind of get. To get Floyd, you have to hear Floyd, man. All right. And, of course, the last one is, and it's probably no surprise, Another Brick in the Wall. And this is probably the most famous song. All in all, you're just another brick in the wall. You know, we don't need no education. We don't need no self-control. And, yeah, funny part about the Wall is that Waters wrote about 80% of it because it was supposed to be his solo album. And Gilmour went off and did his own thing. Mason went off and did his own. They all did their own thing. And they came back, you know, after Gilmour's album went fell and told Waters, well, what do you got? We'll make a Pink Floyd album. And they used what he had for the Wall. And it was, like I said, if Waters had probably kept it to himself, we'd be having a completely different conversation. Just throwing that out there. Yes, Pink Floyd is a wonderful band. I would highly recommend listening to The Wall and maybe to start you up. Dark Side, definitely. Of course, I Wish You Were Here. Metal's an awesome album. It really depends. Some people like Adam Hart Mother. Fascinating album. You really have to listen to Floyd. certain artists change over the years, but Floyd just kind of molds into this machine of different kind of feelings. And like they explore love, but it's like the dark side of love. They explore money, greed. They talk about ethereal things. They talk about the world and how corrupt it is. They talk about it. You gotta like really listen to it, man. And they go through different phases, like I said, with the different singers. They started out psychedelic. They moved into a more pessimistic view of things, and then they became more ethereal as they went on. So like the many phases of Pink Floyd, but it's all out there, man. It's somewhere between the stars, between the universe, somewhere in that black, dark matter. You hear an echo, a sound, and I'm probably gonna have to do a part 2 of this because there's so many songs from Floyd. But I recommend listening to Pink Floyd. You never heard of them? I think Dark Side of the Moon is still on the top 100, even though it was released all those years ago. One of the highest selling albums, man. And if you don't know, now you know. So go pick one up, man. Or even pick a song, a random song, and see if you like it. Try it. And your boy is always kicking on the dark side of the moon. I wish you were here right now, but somewhere on the other side of the wall, you might be meddling. But don't come back with that Adam Hart mother talk, if you know what I'm saying. Because your boy isn't playing. I might go gumma with the whole situation. You know, I've always got a saucer full of secrets of the piper at the gates of dark. And let me tell you something, I'll always carry on. You know, you don't got to feel my pulse in order to hear my heartbeat. Now, this is the Comic Outlaw. And as always, I'll catch you on the flip side. Yeah.